All right, let's take a look at the container and code layer. Now, these are separate layers, but there wasn't a lot for me to say about each one without going super deep on particular ways of implementing them. So I just grouped them together here. So we have container layer and the code layer. So the container layer, things that we can do at this layer to protect the container would be container vulnerability scanning or OS dependency securities, image signing and enforcement, disallowing privileged users, using the container runtime with stronger isolation. Okay, and that could be choosing like virtualized container runtimes, which we talked about in our runtime section, right? For the code layer, the application code is one of the primary attack surfaces over which you have the most control. So, I mean, you have a lot of options here, but we don't list a whole lot here. So access over TLS only. So make sure you use HTTPS for your application. Limiting port ranges of communication. So like if it's a database, maybe don't make it public facing or limit it to only your IP address. Third-party dependency security. So like if you're installing like Node.js modules, make sure that they are up to date and safe, or use a tool like Sneak that will detect and tell you whether there's a problem with it or not. Static code analysis, which is kind of similar to third party. It actually looks, it's not just saying like, hey, we know that there's a history of problems with these things, but we'll actually look at the code and tell you if we find a problem. I think like AWS DevOps Guru does that, but you have to use particular languages like Python or Java. Dynamic probing attacks, so pen testing basically for your application. And then for the code layer, you follow all the good OWASP rules. So OWASP has like a top 10 for application defense. It's going to be the same here, but there you go.